Will voice comm on solo queue make it a bit closer to competitive? Will voice comms on solo queue make it a bit closer to competitive? I hope that they don't add voice comms. I'm one of the anti voice comm people. And if you can't foresee the problems with voice comm, I mean, voice comms could. Well, okay. So first off, voice comms aren't going to do anything in high MMR either, because look at Champions Queue. Okay, the pro players don't want to talk to the amateurs. Okay, they definitely don't want to talk to the non-amateurs. So there's that. Then in addition to this, what else do you have going on in addition to this? Like, in lower MMR, you just take a look at any other game that has voice chat, and it's going to be a total fucking mess. Voice comms do not do what people think that it does. Yeah, but you're saying mute voice comms if you hate it, but then it turns into, mute that person if you don't like them, or something like that. It gets really weird. Because you're gonna be forced to either use the voice comm or not use the voice comm. There's not gonna be a muting a player. They work in FPS, but they don't. Riot actually specifically said that voice comms in Valorant was a mistake. There's an article that you can actually find where a Rioter outright just came out and said that. Which means that in order for them to even say that, it had to be a company decision to make that statement. Rainbow Six Siege? Is that what RC works in CS2 as well? I'm not familiar enough with these games. Yeah. I know the Dota comment is cap. I know the Dota comment is absolutely untrue. Because I've seen so many things about how Dota voice comms are horrid. Yeah, Riot, sure, you can say that Riot's done bad decisions all the time, but all that you have to do to realize that voice comms are a horrendous decision is pause and think about it for a moment. Okay? It's so short-sighted to say that voice comms would actually be a good solution. One, you have Champions Queue, which was displayed and went out in EU and NA at several different points. We saw that pro players were unwilling to talk with amateurs, or even academy players. We also saw that academy players didn't want to talk to amateurs. We also saw that even amateurs just didn't want to use voice comms and all this other stuff, okay? We saw this literally at the highest... The absolute highest spectrum, right? Now, the other thing is, so that would be the argument for, like, Master Tier Plus, right? For voice comms. And then on the other side of it, for voice comms, you have, like, the toxicity stuff. And again, Riot's talked about this with Valorant. And it doesn't have to do with Riot, you know, makes a good decision, doesn't make a good decision, whatever. It mostly has to do with, can you just realize that the environment will degrade very quickly? Now, the other way to realize that voice comms are going to have problems is people don't necessarily see each other as human beings just because they're on voice with someone. I think that being on voice does humanize the person more, but it doesn't 100% make sure that something's going to happen. It humanizes them a lot more, sure. But you still look at a lot of games that have voice chat, like Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty, a very notable game with voice chat, right? Or just like any of the console games that have voice chat. Who's ever had a bad experience on voice in Valorant? Guys, I don't know. This seems really anecdotal. I don't know. I think there's lots of like things that can be looked at online with like YouTube and you know even Twitter videos and stuff coming out on voice chat. Voice comms add fun and flavor to a game. Yeah, they can, but they can also add a lot of toxicity. What happens if you don't agree with the call that someone in voice is making in a game? What happens then, right? Look at now everyone gets to League tiers differently, right? Everyone gets to league tiers differently. So what if you just don't agree with things that people are saying, or accusations that each other are making in the game? That taking away the ability to interact in a game completely is a better game state than having the option opt-in communication. Well, okay. Oh man. Inherently, if you are a person that is anti-voice chat, you are innately at a disadvantage against voice chat being an option. Okay, I don't know how to explain this. It's literally the troll argument as well. Whereas if you're not the troll in a game, then statistically, the enemy team is more likely to have the troll. Okay, if you're anti-voice chat, and so now we have 4/5 remaining members that could be using voice, and you're not going to, you also put the team at a disadvantage, in theory, assuming that both sides have an equal amount of people that would be malicious or toxic or like whatever, and then you enter into the advantage argument, etc. Well, anti-text chat was also a conversation as well, right? Which is actually why Heroes of the Storm didn't have it. Rumble mid build? Just look up any Rumble mid. Couldn't someone just listen to the other player voice comms and not talk themselves? They could maybe do that. That would maybe be a feature, right? Mute, but then not talk. But then the toxicity argument still exists. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff. All right, this is red, right? Yeah, okay. The hell? Has Riot been serious about eliminating toxicity?